devastating blow to Ukraine's war efforts ahead of Trump-Zelensky meet. Russian forces detect and crush Ukraine's robotic supply lines. Gulyaipole, Stepnogorsk, Dimitrov liberated. Putin goes ballistic.
Russian forces launched a devastating new blow on the battlefield ahead of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and U.S. President Donald Trump's high-stakes meeting in Florida on Sunday.
Russian battle group Vostok unleashes a crushing assault near Gulyaipole. According to Russia's defense ministry, reconnaissance units detected Ukraine's robotic unmanned ground supply systems used to ferry ammunition and frontline supplies. Russia responded with precision. FPV drones, quadcopter strike drones, and direct hits. Ukraine's robotic lifelines are obliterated, and soon followed the victory. Russia declared Gulyaipole liberated. A critical gateway in the Zaporizhzhia direction now falls under Russian control. The Russian military said Gulyaipole is now under the control of its forces. The 57th Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade and the 60th Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade of the 5th Army's 127th Division and the 38th Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade of the 35th Army of the Vostok Group of Forces participated in the operation to liberate the settlement. Russian MOD said the enemy had prepared the defense in advance, but after fierce fighting, the settlement came under the control of units of the Vostok Group of Forces. Russia said more than 76 square kilometers were taken under control, and Russian flags have been set up by assault units in various parts of the settlement. Over 7,000 buildings and structures were mopped up during the operation. The Russian Defense Ministry said several Ukrainian soldiers of the 102nd Separate Territorial Defense Brigade, 33rd, 225th, and 425th Separate Assault Regiments were killed. The liberation of Gulyaipole marks an important stage in the advancement of the offensive in the Zaporizhzhia direction. The collapse continues. Russian flags were raised in Dimitrov in Donetsk. Assault units of the 5th Guards Motorized Rifle Brigade, supported by the Unmanned Systems Forces teams, knocked the enemy out of buildings and structures that Ukrainian soldiers used as shelters and unsuccessfully tried to equip firing points in them to hold positions.
Then comes the fall of Svyatopokrovskoye, another town in the Donetsk.
Russian Defense Minister congratulated soldiers of 88th Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade on liberation of Svyatopokrovskoye. Russian Defense Minister Andrei Belosov said, "We will always remember the brigade soldiers who forever inscribed their names in history, giving their lives in the struggle for our fatherland." And now Moscow sets its sights on its next prize, Kupiansk. The Russian Defense Ministry showed footage of the Zapad Group of Forces servicemen performing tasks in different areas of Kupiansk, advancing further into the city. Meanwhile, a surrendered Ukrainian soldier exposed Zelensky ahead of his meeting with Trump. The captive Ukrainian soldier said he was beaten on the streets and taken to a military unit forcibly.
Ходил я в больницу до мамы. У меня и дочка маленькая, 4 годика. И шел обратно домой. 6 человек выпрыгнуло, понакостыляли по голове мне. Газовым баллончиком в глаза дули. Я уже проснулся в военкомате. Утром сказал военник, был меня уже готов. Они тупо сказали, идешь ты тупо на мясо. Сказали нам идти прямо. Потом сказали нам, что дальше скажем координаты, куда идти далее. Ну, когда я шел по дороге и по блиндажам, то валялись пацаны. Должны вывозить, по-моему, вывозить их, без вариантов, бо много лежали, без ног, без руки. Нас поймали, пацана, 200 получился, а нас двоих приняли. Покормили, все нормально было. Давайте с пацаном в плен, вам хорошо будет, не обижают, кормят, все нормально.
Meanwhile, the General Staff of Ukraine's armed forces said Russia's claims of occupying the frontline cities of Mirnograd in Donetsk and Gulyaipole in Zaporizhzhia Oblast are false. This comes as Putin visited a command post in the occupied territories of Ukraine, where he was informed that Moscow had seized control of Mirnograd, Gulyaipole, and several other settlements. Putin's visit to the front line came on the eve of Zelensky's December 28th meeting with Trump, who was attempting to broker a peace deal between Kiev and Moscow. Putin used the visit to reiterate Moscow's maximalist goals, which include control of Ukraine's entire Donbas region. Putin said Zelensky is not rushing to resolve this conflict by peaceful means.
I see that all the tasks are being carried out in accordance with the plan of the special military operation, approved and developed by the General Staff. The creation of a security zone in the border regions, in the Sumy, Kharkiv, and Dnipropetrovsk regions, is proceeding at a good pace. In Donbas and the Zaporizhzhia region, the offensive is underway along the entire line of contact. Russian troops are increasing pressure on the Ukrainian armed forces. The liberation of Dimitrov, Mirnograd, and the liberation of the city of Gulyaipole are important results of the combat operations. As for Dimitrov, this is a serious step towards the complete liberation of the Donetsk People's Republic. Gulyaipole is the second largest city in the Zaporizhzhia region, and its liberation opens up good prospects for the development of the offensive in the Zaporizhzhia region. I congratulate you all on these results. Thank you very much. Now we see that there are also smart people in the West who recommend that the Kyiv authorities accept decent terms for ending the conflict and provide good basic conditions for ensuring Ukraine's security in the long historical perspective, conditions for restoring relations with the Russian Federation and restoring the Ukrainian economy. But we see that even today, unfortunately, the leaders of the Kyiv regime are not rushing to resolve this conflict by peaceful means. However, today, judging by your reports, judging by the pace we are observing along the line of contact, our interest in withdrawing Ukrainian military formations from the territories they currently occupy is practically zero for various reasons. And if Kyiv authorities are not willing to end the matter peacefully, we will achieve all the goals we have in the special military operation by military means.